Dear listener, welcome to my channel. Topic is justify or contradict question on image compression topic. All these mentioned questions are going to be covered in this video. For this video, you should have knowledge about image compression. Let us start with the first question. Question first. Run-length coding is a lossless coding but may not give data compression always. Statement is true. Run-length encoding exploits interpixel redundancy, but there should be long runs. For example, data is given in which 2 is repeated for 4 times, 5 is repeated for 6 times and 7 is repeated for 5 times. That is, continuous runs are there. Now make assumption that data is stored in ASCII value, that is 1 byte per character. Total memory required to store this data is 15 bytes, as total 15 characters are there. For each character 1 byte is there. After applying the run length coding, the data is represented only 6 bytes, like 2 is repeated for 4 times, 5 is repeated for 6 times and 7 is repeated for 5 times. First byte represents the count and second byte represents the data. Therefore, after compression, we require only 6 bytes to store this data. During decompression, it is lossless encoding. Why? Because during decompression, we are just converting this data into this data by 2 is repeated for 4 times, 5 is repeated for 6 times and 7 is repeated for 5 times. Therefore, we will get original data after decompression. Therefore, it is a lossless coding and it is giving compression in this case. Second is, it may not give data compression always. This statement is also true. Run length encoding depends on nature of data. It may give negative compression. Take the example, data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. We are using the fixed length encoding. Therefore, to store this data, we require the 5 bytes. After run length encoding, we are storing the data like 1 is repeated for 1 times, 2 is repeated for 1 times, 3 is repeated for 1 times and 4 is repeated for 2 times. Therefore, after compression, memory required is 8 bytes. Therefore, in this case, we are getting the negative compression because to store the data, we require more memory than the original one. Therefore, if gray levels of adjacent pixel is changing, that is, if continuous runs are absent of gray level, in such cases, run length encoding gives negative compression. Huffman code is a variable length code. Statement is true. Huffman is lossless compression technique whose main aim is to remove coding redundancy. When fixed length binary coding is used, most of the time data contains coding redundancy. As fixed length coding don't make efficient use of probability of occurrence of symbol, Huffman code is a variable length code which assigns small number of code word for frequently occurring data symbol and vice versa. Take the simple example. Data is 4 times A, 4 times B and 1 times C and D is present. Now here the probability of A and B is more compared to C and D. In fixed length coding, to storing each character we are using 1 byte. Therefore, memory required is 10 bytes. But in variable length coding, that is Huffman encoding, based on the probability, we are assigning the number of bits to represent. For example, the probability of A and B is more, therefore we assign the fewer symbol, and for C and D we are assigned the more length of symbol, that is variable length symbol. Now here the frequency of A is 40%, frequency of B is 40% and C and D is 10%. Now here we take the probability and we arrange the probability in descending order. A, B, C, D. A is 0.4, B is 0.4, C and D are 0.1. We add the last two probabilities and again try to arrange in ascending order. 0.4, 0.4, 0.20. Next, add the last two. We are getting 0.60, 0.60 and then 0.40. Addition is 1. After construction of the Huffman code, Huffman tree, we are getting this code. Here 0.40 is represented by A. Next, 0.40 is represented by B and 0.10, 0.10 are represented by C and D. Now here, to store the A, we are not using the 8 bits but we are using only 1 bit, that is 1 symbol. To store the B, we are using 2 symbols, that is 0, 1. For storing the C and D, we are using 3 symbols, that is 0, 0, 1 and 0, 0, 0 respectively. Therefore, totally memory required after compression is 4 into 1. 4 A is repeated for 4 times, therefore 4. And for A, we are storing only with 1. 4 into 1, 4 into 2, 1 into 3 and 1 into 3. That is 18 bits are required. Third, shrinking of an image is a lossy operation. Statement is true. Image compression and decompression is shrinking and enlarging an image. Sometimes in shrinking of the image, we are skillfully discarding some pixel values in the original image to obtain a smaller version of the image. For example, the image original size is 128 by 128. After removing the alternate rows and column, we are getting the image of 64 by 64. Therefore, when shrinking an image, the quality of the original image is inevitably reduced. As data of the original image is lost completely, therefore it is called as a lossy compression. Therefore, when the image of 128 by 128 is converted to 64 by 64, the data is lost completely. But at the same time, if we are perceiving the quality of the image is not degraded for our perceiveness, then it is acceptable. All the image compression techniques are invertible. Statement is false. Compression techniques fall into two broad categories. First, lossless and lossy. Lossless, that is reversible with no loss of information. A new image is identical to the original image after decompression. Try to reduce coding and interpixel redundancy. Example are Huffman coding and run length coding. Lossy, that is non-reversible, permanent loss, that is with loss of some information. A new image is approximately identical to the original image after decompression. Try to reduce psychovisual redundancy. Example are JPEG, MPEG, IGS and vector quantization. Fifth, lossy compression is not suitable for compressing the executable file. Statement is true. Lossy compression is non-reversible with permanent loss of some information. A new image is approximately identical to the original image after decompression. Executable file contains machine language code. Every character and their sequence is important. They cannot tolerate even a change in a single bit. Therefore, lossy compression is not suitable for compressing executable files. Sixth, removing interpixel redundancy may or may not result in lossy compression. Statement is true. It is a redundancy corresponding to the statistical dependency among pixels, especially between the neighboring pixel. Interpixel redundancy implies that pixel values are correlated. That is, pixel value can be reasonably predicted by its neighbor. For continuous runs of values, we can use run length encoding, which is a lossless compression method. For example, take the previous example. 2 is repeated for 4 times, 5 is repeated for 6 times and 7 is repeated for 5 times. Here in this data, continuous runs are there, that is neighboring pixels are related with each other. Therefore, interpixel redundancy is present. Before compression memory is 15 bytes and after compression memory is 6 bytes. Thus, in such cases, interpixel redundancy gives lossless compression, that is, may not result in a lossy compression. But if we use the quantization step, at that time we are doing to remove the interpixel redundancy. If quantization step is used, it results in a lossy compression. To remove interpixel redundancy, if quantization is used, then it may lead to lossy compression. For example, the data is 2345, 22, 2342. Now all consider this data is of grayscale image. Now 2345, all these values are corresponding to the various shades of black color. Now for us, that black color we perceive the same, so there is no need to store each value in the proper discrimination. Therefore, we can use the quantization, and for example, in the quantization, whatever the values between 0 to 5, they are mapped to the 3. Therefore, after transformation or after quantization tape, data is transferred to the all values are 3. Now here we are getting the continuous runs of 3s and we can apply the run length encoding. But after decompression, again we are getting only runs of 3 but not the original data. Therefore, here data is permanently lost. Seventh, the process of removing the psychovisual redundancy is a lossy technique. Statement is true. Psychovisual redundancy is associated with real or quantifiable visual information. Its elimination is possible only because that information itself is not essential for normal visual processing. Since the elimination of psychovisual redundancy results in a loss of quantitative information, therefore the process of removing psychovisual redundancy is a lossy compression. For example, edges, border in an image represent the psychovisual redundancy. Therefore, during the compression, these values, the psychovisual redundancy is present generally at edges and border. so their percentage is removed from the input image. Therefore, after compression, we can see that the image get disturbed or the quality is degraded across the edges and borders in an image. Now take the other example. The values are 2345, 222, 342. Here, for example, we want to apply the run length encoding, but we can't apply run length encoding because it will give the negative compression. But if all these values are same to our eye, for example, these are all nothing but the shades of black color. If we consider this value belongs to the gray level. Now, as we are perceiving all the shades of black and our eye is not too much sensitive that it will discriminate between the shades of black, we are perceiving the black color for all this value. So why to store this value in this particular discrimination? After that, we can use to get a long runs quantization, and after quantization we are representing that value in a particular range. For example, 0 to 5 are mapped to the 3. Therefore, after quantization we are getting the continuous runs of 3, and we can apply the run length encoding. After decompression, again we are getting runs of 3 only and not the original data, because data is permanently lost. This is nothing but what? The removing psychovisual redundancy is the quantitative data. Therefore, when we remove the psychovisual redundancy, it becomes a lossy technique. This is all about the justify and contradict question on image processing. If you like my videos, subscribe my channel. Thank you.